Level 1, the couch potato. You're 23 years old and you get winded walking up 2 flights of stairs. Not 3, 2. You stand at the top and pretend you're checking your phone while you catch your breath. Nobody is fooled. You know this because you've been doing it for 3 years and the routine is too practiced to be convincing. Your diet is whatever requires the least effort. Pasta at 11 p.m. because you were busy. Chips because they're on the desk. Energy drinks because coffee stopped working 6 months ago. You eat when you remember to. You eat badly when you do. Your body feels like a machine that hasn't been serviced since it came off the production line. The breaking point comes differently for everyone. For you, it's a photo. Your friend posts a group photo from a birthday party on Instagram. You look at yourself in that photo for a long time. That's not how you imagined you looked. You've been avoiding mirrors, avoiding cameras. Now you can't avoid it. The evidence is right there in a square format with a filter that somehow makes everything worse. You don't start the next day. Most people don't. You think about it for 2 weeks. You watch motivational videos at midnight. You read Reddit threads about people who transform themselves. You tell yourself you're going to start Monday. Monday comes, you don't start. Next Monday, nothing again. The third Monday, you actually put on shoes and go outside and walk for 20 minutes. It's embarrassing how hard 20 minutes feels, but you do it again the next day and the day after. Small, unglamorous, real. Level 2, the beginner. 6 weeks of walking every evening and you decide to join a gym. You've been putting it off because gyms are intimidating. Everyone in there seems to know what they're doing and where everything is and how to adjust every machine. You don't know the name of most equipment. You don't want to look stupid. You go during off-peak hours when it's quieter. You find the treadmill because you understand the treadmill. You run for 8 minutes, then walk for the rest of the 30. You stretch awkwardly in a corner. You leave. Nobody paid any attention to you. You realize the gym is full of people focused entirely on themselves. You come back. You start using machines. You read the instructions on the side panels. You watch people and copy their movements when you think they know what they're doing. Eventually, you find a beginner program online. 3 days a week. Full body. Squats, bench press, rows, shoulder press, deadlifts. Basic compound movements that have existed for 100 years for good reason. The first time you squat with weight, you use an empty bar. 20 kilograms. Your legs shake. Your form is probably terrible. You don't care. You did it. The next week you add 5 kilograms. The week after you add 5 more. The progression is simple and satisfying. Numbers going up means you're improving. You can measure it. 6 months in your body has changed. Nothing dramatic. But you look in the mirror and you don't see the same person from that birthday photo. Your posture is better. Your clothes fit differently. You have more energy. You sleep better. The stairs don't destroy you anymore. These aren't small things. These are significant. You've started something. Level 3, the gym regular. 1 year of consistent training. You know the gym like your own kitchen. You know which equipment is always free on Tuesday mornings and which squat rack gets taken at 6 p.m. on Mondays without fail. You have a preferred rack. You get mildly annoyed when someone else is using it. You are becoming the person you used to be intimidated by. Your diet has evolved. You started tracking calories out of curiosity and discovered you were consistently either eating too much or too little with no middle ground. You learned about protein, about how much your body actually needs versus how much you were getting. You adjusted. You're eating more vegetables than at any point in your adult life. Not because you enjoy them, because you understand why they matter, and understanding something changes your relationship with it. You've had your first plateau, 3 weeks where the scale didn't move and your strength didn't increase. You panicked briefly. You researched. You realized you needed to eat more. You ate more. The plateau broke. You learned that the body adapts constantly and you have to adapt with it. This lesson will repeat itself at every level above this one. You've also started noticing things outside the gym. You choose stairs without thinking about it. You carry heavy things without immediately looking for somewhere to put them down. You walk faster without trying. Your posture when you sit has changed. Fitness is bleeding into the rest of your life in ways you didn't expect and didn't ask for and wouldn't trade for anything now. People at work ask what you've been doing. You tell them. Some are interested. Some are skeptical. One colleague tries the gym for 2 weeks and quits. Another is still going a year later. You didn't convert anyone, but you planted seeds. Level 4, the diet researcher. 18 months in and you've fallen into a rabbit hole. Macros. Micros, meal timing, intermittent fasting, caloric cycling, protein synthesis, insulin sensitivity. You're reading studies now, actual peer-reviewed research. You're listening to podcasts at double speed during your commute. You know more about nutrition than most people who studied it casually in college. You try intermittent fasting. You eat only between noon and 8 in the evening. The first week is genuinely miserable. You're hungry all morning and you think about food constantly in a way that feels clinical. Week 2 gets easier. Week 4 feels normal. You're not sure if it's working because of the fasting or because you're simply eating less overall. You decide it doesn't matter. The scale is moving. You track everything you eat for 3 months. Not occasionally. Every single meal, every snack, everything. You become the person at a restaurant who checks the nutritional information online before ordering. Your friends find this slightly irritating. You understand. But you can't unknow what you know now. Knowledge changes behavior whether you want it to or not. Your relationship with food has fundamentally shifted. Not perfectly. You still eat badly sometimes. But you do it consciously now. You understand the trade-offs. A slice of birthday cake is fine. You know exactly what it costs, and you choose it with full information. That's different from how you used to eat. That's actually freedom even though it doesn't look like it from the outside. Level 5. The goal setter. 2 years in and casual training isn't enough anymore. You need a target, something external, something that requires you to perform on a specific day, regardless of how you feel. You sign up for a 10K race. You've never run more than 5 kilometers in your life. The race is in 3 months. You follow a training plan, 3 runs per week, distance increasing gradually, long run on weekends. The long runs are hard in a way you didn't anticipate, not just physically, mentally. Running for 45 minutes with nothing but your own thoughts is a different kind of challenge entirely. You think about work. You think about relationships you've been neglecting. You think about things you've been successfully avoiding for years. Running becomes therapy you didn't schedule and didn't pay for. Race day arrives. 800 people at the starting line. The atmosphere is something you weren't prepared for. Everyone around you looks fitter than you. You're nervous you'll embarrass yourself or have to walk or finish last. The gun fires. You start. You finish in 54 minutes. Not impressive by any real runner's standard, but you ran 10 kilometers without stopping for the first time in your life. You cross the finish line and feel something you haven't felt in years. Genuine pride in your physical body, in what it can do, in what you made it do through months of showing up when you didn't feel like it. You sign up for a half marathon the following week without thinking about it too hard, because you know if you think about it, you might talk yourself out of it. Level 6. The dedicated athlete. 3 years of consistent training and your goals have grown past what you initially imagined when you were standing outside that gym during off-peak hours, hoping nobody would notice you. You're running half marathons. You've started lifting seriously. You decide to compete in powerlifting. 3 lifts: squat, bench press, deadlift. Judged on total weight across all 3. 12 weeks to prepare for your first meet. You hire a strength coach. Not a personal trainer at the gym, an actual competitive coach who programs for athletes. The difference is immediate and humbling. Your old training was scattered in ways you didn't realize because you didn't have anything to compare it to. This is precise. Every session has a specific purpose. Percentages of your 1 rep max for every set. Deload weeks built in. Your sleep schedule tightens. Your nutrition is restructured around performance, not aesthetics. Competition day. You weigh in. You warm up. You get 3 attempts at each lift. The platform is different from any gym you've trained in. The judges are watching. There's an audience. The pressure is real in a way that gym training never is. Your opener is conservative. You make it easily. Second attempt is heavier. You grind it out. Third attempt is a personal record. You hit it. The crowd cheers. People you've never met are cheering for you in a room that smells like chalk and effort. You total 420 kilograms across 3 lifts. You place 3rd in your weight class. First time competing. You're immediately thinking about the next one before you've even changed out of your singlet. Level 7. The coach. 5 years of serious training and people keep asking you for advice. At the gym, at work, online where you've been posting training content for the past year because someone told you to document the process and you did, and it grew slowly but consistently. You decide to get certified as a personal trainer. You study, you pass, You start taking clients on the side of your regular job. Coaching is completely different from training yourself. Training yourself is about knowing your own body. Coaching others is about understanding how to communicate with people who aren't you, who don't think the way you think, who don't respond to the things that motivate you. Your first clients are beginners. They're scared of the gym exactly the way you were 5 years ago. You remember what that felt like with enough clarity that you can use it. One client loses 20 kilograms over 8 months. Another improves his blood pressure enough that his doctor reduces his medication. A third runs her first race at 52 years old and cries at the finish line and sends you a voice message you've listened to more times than you'll admit. These outcomes matter more to you than any personal record you've ever hit. You realize this is the part that was missing, not the performance, the impact. Your part-time coaching becomes substantial income. You build an online presence slowly and honestly. You post about the process, not just the results. You show the early stages, the unglamorous parts, the days when nothing goes right and you train anyway. People follow because you're telling the truth about what this actually looks like. You've become part of someone else's story the same way strangers on the internet were part of yours 5 years ago when you were watching motivational videos at midnight. Level 8. The transformed person. You're 33 years old. 10 years since you saw that photo at the birthday party. 10 years since you stood at the top of 2 flights of stairs pretending to check your phone. The person you are now and the person you were then share the same name. They don't share much else. You're not the same physically. That's obvious and visible and not the most important part. More than that, your relationship with difficulty has changed at a fundamental level. When something is hard, your first instinct is no longer to avoid it. You've spent 10 years training yourself to see discomfort as productive, to lean into things that are uncomfortable because that's consistently where growth has happened for you. This transfer from the gym to the rest of your life was gradual and then suddenly total. You coach. You compete occasionally. You create content. You've built a life around something that started as a desperate response to a photo you didn't like at a birthday party you almost didn't attend. You've helped hundreds of people improve their health and their confidence and their relationship with their own body. Not because you were naturally gifted at any of this, because you were consistent, because you showed up when you didn't want to, because you stayed with it through plateaus and injuries, in periods when life made everything harder, and training anyway was the only thing keeping you level. The stairs you use to fake check your phone on are in your building at work. You still walk past them every day. You don't think about them anymore, but sometimes you remember. And somewhere right now, someone is standing at the top of 2 flights of stairs, pretending to check their phone. They had a moment, a photo, a comment, a number on a scale that finally landed wrong. Something made them see clearly what they've been ignoring. They're going to start on Monday. They might actually start this time. And if they stay consistent, they won't recognize themselves in 10 years. That's not a promise. That's just what 10 years of showing up looks like.